Hello everyone, and welcome back to Whispers of Turkish Stars. Today's story is about a couple whose love has quietly moved millions, Alina and Alp Navas. Before we begin, make sure you're subscribed and tap like if you enjoy these intimate, heartfelt glimpses behind the scenes. Your support means everything. Now, let's step into what has been one of the most challenging chapters of their lives. Alina, celebrated for her grace and the intensity she brings to every role, recently opened up about a health scare that left fans deeply worried. She was rushed to a private clinic in Istanbul after a sudden decline that those close to her described as alarming. When she finally returned home, she shared an emotional confession. The first person she wanted to see, the one she needed by her side, was Alp. With tears she tried to hide, she admitted she didn't ask for him out of habit or convenience. He was the reason she found the strength to keep going, the reason she fought through the fog when everything felt heavy and confusing. It all began a few weeks earlier. The city was moving at its usual pace, ferries crossing the Bosphorus, a cool wind gliding through narrow streets, when Alina, already pushing through a relentless schedule, was taken to a clinic under urgent supervision. The headlines, as they often do, exploded. Some said exhaustion, others whispered of burnout, a few suggested emotional overwhelm. For days, there was more speculation than clarity. But there was one thing everyone noticed: Alp didn't step away. A nurse later shared that he showed up every evening, often later than visiting hours allowed, always calm, always focused. He would sit beside her bed without crowding her. He didn't fill the silence with speeches. He just held her hand when she drifted into uneasy sleep and made sure the blanket didn't slip down when the room grew cold. He paused his own shooting schedule to be there, shuffling meetings and scenes so the only scene that mattered was the one where she woke to the softness of his voice. One member of the clinic's staff put it plainly: he looked tired but unshakable, as if he had decided that standing guard was the only role he cared to play. When the day came for Alina's discharge, she had a single, simple wish. She wanted Alp to be the one to walk her out. Cameras were waiting outside the clinic doors, catching the moment she stepped into the pale afternoon light in a long beige coat and dark sunglasses. Alp moved in close, shielding her gently from the flashes and the noise, speaking low and steady in a way that brought the faintest smile back to her lips. He guided her to the car as if they were in their own world, the city a distant murmur beyond the glass. Later, a reporter asked why it had to be him. Alina's answer was soft but firm. Because his presence gave her life, she said. Because when you have to start over, you start with the person who reminds you why you must not surrender. Those words traveled fast, echoed in countless posts and comments, but their meaning belonged to the two of them. It wasn't a staged moment. It was relief, gratitude, and something deeper, something that had been tested and proven true. After the hospital, they disappeared from the spotlight for a while. They spent slow days at home, letting the quiet mend what noise had frayed. On certain afternoons, they strolled along the Bosphorus, where the wind can take a thought and carry it far away. A close friend later shared that Alina needed stillness, and Alp understood that better than anyone. He didn't try to tease a laugh out of her when she didn't have one to give. He didn't push or prod. He simply stayed, an unwavering presence, a warmth that didn't demand attention. That, the friend said, is what love looks like when it's real. That same week, to mark the turning point in her recovery, Alp arranged a small dinner at home, nothing extravagant, no dramatic surprises or flash. He cooked her favorite dish the way she likes it, careful with the salt and the herbs, lining the living room with candles that cast gentle light along the shelves and frames. The apartment felt like a shelter, the air scented with tea and something sweet baking low and slow, their voices hushed in that tender way we keep secrets from the night. There was no grand speech, no announcement. Only gratitude. Only the comfort of an ordinary evening made extraordinary because they were there together. That night, Alina told him something she later shared online: she didn't need miracles. She had him. In a candid interview a little later, Alina explained that the hospital stay had been the result of exhaustion, physical, emotional, the kind that sneaks up on you in layers. She admitted she had let herself slip beneath the weight of commitments, premieres, deadlines, and the constant hum of expectation. Somewhere in the rush, she lost her balance. But when she thought of Alp, his calm voice, his steady hands, she found the courage not to disappear into that fatigue. She found a reason not to give up. Alp chose not to speak publicly about any of it. He didn't post long messages or give statements. People close to him said the experience shook him in quiet ways, the kind you carry in your chest. He wasn't thinking of scripts or ratings or the noise that swells and fades online. He wanted her safe. He wanted her well. And everything else could wait. The story resonated not because of the glamour, but because it stripped away the glitter and showed something vulnerable and honest. Fans flooded comment sections with love and relief, telling them their journey felt familiar, reminding them that strength can look like showing up day after day without a flourish. Alina captured that feeling in a single reflection. When you truly love someone, you don't worry about cameras or what people might say. You think about the person who lends you their strength when yours is gone. Once she felt steadier, Alina decided to pause work for a while and turn her focus inward, to her mind, to her body, to the balance she had promised herself to protect. She said she refused to lose herself again, that taking care of herself is a way of caring for what she and Alp have built together. There's a quiet bravery in choosing pause, in choosing softness over speed, and she embraced it with a resolve that made those who know her proud. Whispers soon followed that the two might slip away for a little trip abroad, maybe to Italy or Greece, a place of soft mornings and long afternoons where they could be anonymous and unhurried. The plan, a friend hinted, wasn't about running from anything, but about stepping into a gentler rhythm together. The same friend said the ordeal had welded them even closer, that Alina now looked at Alp with a depth of gratitude that only time and trial can carve. As if she had discovered all over again that he wasn't just her partner. He was her anchor. As she eases back into daily life and he returns to set, nothing about their bond seems fragile. In fact, it looks steadier than ever. Recently, Alina posted a line that drew thousands of tender replies. When life asked her for strength, her answer was him. The response was immediate and overwhelming, messages full of warmth, relief, and admiration for a love that refuses to fray when the world pulls at its edges. The night Alina came home from the hospital remains one of those small, extraordinary memories that outshine grand events. The apartment was quiet, the city a distant lull outside the windows. Alp led her into a room where dozens of candles flickered like soft stars. On the table, a cup of tea waited beside white flowers and an open notebook, nothing ornate, just a promise of gentler days. It was a simple symbol of beginning again. There, in a home wrapped in warmth, Alina finally smiled, not as an actress, not as a public figure, but as a woman who found peace in the arms of the man who refused to let go. Thank you for staying with us through this story. For more heartfelt journeys from the world of your favorite stars, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Whispers of Turkish Stars. We'll be back soon with another story that reminds us all what love can do when the lights go dim and real life begins.